Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer-songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is a Canadian singer-songwriter who began singing at a very young age and has always used songwriting as an outlet. She decided to pursue a career in music, as music has been her lifeline for as long as she can remember. She has opened for Jeff Martin of the Tea Party, Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots, Puddle of Mud, and more. She's also performed with Ian Dessaw of Billy Talent and McCaslin of Sum 41. Blkbird released her debut EP with Grammy Award-winning producer David Bottrill on September 2022. So, let's spill the tea with Chanel Martins, musically known as Blkbird. Welcome, Chanel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, it's nice to have you on the show. And of course, the first question we have to explore here is you have chosen a stage name of Blkbird, spelled B-L-K Bird, B-I-R-D. Why Blkbird? How did you come up with that?
I just like the symbolism behind it. And I've always felt a connection to birds. Also, with my name being Chanel, it would be really hard to find my music. So I was like, I don't think we can really go with my actual name. And, I was in a band before called Dark Stone Crows, and I had this logo from it that I loved. So I just kind of wanted to keep that theme. I've just felt connected to it. And so, yeah, I decided to go with Blkbird, and, David's manager, who's been helping me through all this stuff, she's like, okay, what if we dropped, some letters just to make the name more searchable as well, and kind of have a fresh take on that name. So yeah, that's kind of how we stumbled on that, and yeah.
You have opened for and performed with some pretty big names. When you get on stage, when you're opening for somebody like Jeff Martin of the Tea Party, and Tea Party, big name band, do you get nervous opening for somebody like that, or do you get nervous being on stage with Ian Dessaw? That you wow, these guys are really big names in the music business. Do you get nervous, or have you just done it so many times now that you look at them and say, they're a good performer, and I'm really comfortable up here?
Definitely the former. I get so nervous, like for everything. It doesn't even matter if it's like a small show. Like I get nervous to a fault sometimes. So yeah, I mean, that's something that, I'm still trying to work on, but yeah, I'm more of like an anxious person, and I do get really nervous, and you can doubt yourself and everything. So yeah, like for Jeff Martin, it was like I was extremely nervous as usual, but usually when you get on stage, like you just start focusing on the music and the nerves go away. So once I was on stage, I was fine.
Mhm.
And then got to enjoy his set. And then yeah, like going into the the session with Ian and Cone, that was different because, I opened up for Jeff Martin, but honestly, don't even know if he heard me. And I didn't meet him after, right? So being in the room with Ian and Cone and talking to them and having to play with them, that was like a first. And so I was extremely nervous going in. Like, and I remember this was kind of like a last minute thing. Like, there was time to prepare, but it wasn't, like I didn't have too much time to mentally prepare. And I remember almost saying no to it because I was like, oh, I don't want to go in and like mess up. This is kind of a bit last minute, and that's just me. Like I let my fear get in the way. sometimes. And so, anyways, I was just like, okay, no, you're not gonna pass up on this opportunity. You know how to pull a song together quickly. And it just got more comfortable as we talked about it, right? Because then at that point, they're like, okay, what songs do you want to do? And I send in some songs that I've already done, and then they picked a few, and and then I was like, hey, you've done these songs before, you're good. And so I went in there extremely nervous, but once I met them, like they were so nice. They made me feel comfortable, honestly. So once we got into the swing of things, like I felt completely comfortable there, but the build up was intense.
Well, I was going to ask you about how how Ian and Cone made you feel. Did they make you feel comfortable? Because they were once in your shoes.
Yeah.
At one time they were an artist that was starting out, and you're not at the very beginning of your stage, but they were in your position. And I wonder, how many artists that are a big name these days or were a big name, if they remember those days and if they do make you feel comfortable. And it sounds like they did.
Yeah, they made me feel super comfortable, and they were giving me lots of positive feedback, and even tried to help me afterwards. Like Ian was trying to get me in touch with his management, and so they were extremely nice, and like ready to help and everything. So yeah, it was a great experience. They're really good guys.
What was the big takeaway from that experience when you went into the studio, obviously nervous with performing with these artists, and they were so nice to you. So now when you're a big star, you're going to be nice to some other young star that's coming along, that's going to work with you. But what was the big takeaway for you?
A big takeaway was like just don't doubt yourself, because I guess it's like under security, like whatever. But the fact that I almost like said no because I was doubting myself, and then I get in there and it's like pretty much the best possible outcome, right? Like you're just kind of fitting in there, like you pulled it off, you're getting good feedback, you're getting help, because someone, sees something in you. So it just made me just like be able to tell myself, okay, stop doubting yourself. People do see good things in you, and you did it. Like you were able to do it. So
Hmm.
yeah, it just made me not dumb. Well, you still doubt yourself, but you kind of remember those moments in like, 'cause as I go on, I'm still doubting myself, right? But then you remember a moment like that, or the fact that David Bottrill has all these like good things to say about me and wants to work with me, and then you're like, hey, you're not crazy. You're like, you know what you're doing. Like people are backing you, and you kind of just have to remember those things when you have those moments of doubt. So that was a big takeaway. And yeah, like what you were saying, hopefully I get to the point one day where I am able to help artists. Because yeah, I would love to be able to get to the point where you can highlight smaller artists that are just being overlooked, right?
Hmm.
It's so saturated, the industry, and amazing artists are just being overlooked, right? So yeah, I mean, of course, like in any situation I'm in, I'm gonna be kind, right? But to be able to get to that place where you can actually do something do something for them. You have that platform, like that would be amazing. Yeah.
Let's get into one of the songs that Chanel wrote. Fade Out of You is Blackbird's debut single, which was released on July 22nd, 2022. The song is featured on her EP, To Ash. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Blackbird and Fade Out of You.
Cards and candy scratch. getting good at goodbyes with you and your lazy eyes. Mine was set on you, bruised, battered, and blue. I wanted you to see this through, waiting for someone like you, someone who says what they mean, who plays it fair and plays it clean, someone who made me feel seen, but you were never what you seem. So I fade out of you, fade out of you. Started picking fights on hazy summer nights, but tell me why it still feels right. Please just hold me for tonight, and in the morning I will go pretend that I don't need you, so play along and never show, never let on or let you know. So I fade out of you, fade out of you. We were young, but this felt old. One conversation and I was sold. Felt like I'd known you for a lifetime. Whoa, but everything went up in smoke. Starving, faded again. Skinny love, I'm holding on. Starving, faded again. Sticking fingers down my throat. Starving, faded again. Skinny love, I'm holding on. Starving, faded again. I tell myself there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Skinny love, there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Convince myself there's nothing wrong with holding on, holding on. Skinny love, please just hold on, please hold on, hold on. I tell myself there's nothing wrong with holding on.
That was Fade Out of You by Chanel Martins, also known as Blackbird. Chanel, great song, by the way, and you've got an amazing voice. There's no question about that. What is that song about, and what was the inspiration for the song?
Yeah, that song is about like trying to get over someone, but like simultaneously still holding on to the situation. So it just kind of talks about the back and forth of that. Um, so when you get into the end of the song after the bridge and the lyrics are going, starve it, feed it again, skinny love, I'm holding on. So it's just talking about, you know, the back and forth, like you kind of remove yourself from the situation, but then you find yourself back there because you're holding on. And skinny love is referencing that there's nothing to really hold on to. Like it's not something that is real even. And so that kind of continues, starve it, feed it again, sticking fingers down my throat. So you're, you know, going back and forth again, and, you know, feelings come up again, and then you're trying to purge yourself of this person again. And that keeps going. Starve it, feed it again, skinny love, I'm holding on. Starve it, feed it again. I tell myself there's nothing wrong. So then it gets this whole spot of you're just convincing yourself that it's okay to like still keep this person around. But yeah, like the chorus, which like the title comes from Fade Out of You, just represents kind of like the slow and often quiet way of leaving someone's life.
So how do people find out more about you, Chanel? What are the socials? What's the website? Where can they go to find out more about your music and where you're performing?
Yeah, so my website has everything. So you can find like my YouTube, TikTok, Instagram from there. And those are the places I'm most active. And yeah, I have music on Apple, Spotify, bunch of other streaming services, but everything can be found through my website, www.blkbirdofficial.com.
And that's spelled BLKBIRD official.com. We have been in conversation with Chanel Martins, professionally known as Blkbird. Chanel, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.